Greetings everyone and welcome. Coming to you tonight. I'm actually in the city of Dnipro right now. Don't mind telling you that because I'm actually heading more east. And by the time you see this video, I'll be gone. That's what the song says. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting. And please, on this video, it'd be great for you to leave a comment because I'm sharing with you tonight 3 things that Zelenskyy has just stated. And I like to be able to translate, get information to you guys as quickly as possible. Zelenskyy making 3 comments. First of all, we're still having that argument over the building hit in the Kursk region and Ukraine constantly validating and proving that Russia actually hit that building. And I do not want you to confuse that with what Zelenskyy is getting ready to say, because he says today that Ukraine did strike a building in the Kursk region, but it was a military headquarters building with Russian and North Korean leadership, military leadership in it. This has nothing to do with the glide bomb that Russia dropped on their own building. This is different places, different stories, and a different song. So first of all, do not be confused about that. I'm going to play that video for you. Additionally, Volodymyr Zelenskyy also giving an update on what he calls packages. The package being North Korean soldiers that have come to the war. They have been eliminated or they have been wounded. We're seeing the stories now about Kim Jong-un and maybe he's pulling his troops back, or Ukraine not seeing so many troops. We've even heard, Zhenya was hearing some other stuff from analysts here inside Ukraine that it's even possible. It's even possible. The United States has communicated with North Korean government, says, hey, stop sending your troops over to help Ukraine or it's going to be bad news for you. Who knows? But I can tell you this, Zelenskyy just a couple of hours ago saying, well, we see possibility. I'm hearing that there may be another 20 or 25,000 North Korean soldiers coming. And guys, if you want to know what kind of soldier North Koreans sent, or Kim Jong-un sent over here to Ukraine, they're not as bad as you think. They're just fighting a war that they didn't know they were going to fight, and they entered a world of technology that they had no idea about. I did a video with the analysis of North Korean soldiers about 10 days ago. You can go back and check that out as well. So the bottom line is, the first video clip I'm going to play for you is Zelenskyy specifically talking about North Koreans fighting against Ukraine, the update on that directly from him. He also will update you about Ukraine striking a, and I quote, military target, taking out Russian and North Korean leadership. Take a listen to Zelenskyy. Here you go.
Brought 4,000 Koreans, as you know. They've definitely lost, I don't know their latest losses, but they've lost the combat capability of this first batch of North Koreans. I can't call them anything else, as they're just a package. They don't know where they're going or why they're fighting a country they've never been to. It's not about people, it's about attitude. Both North Korea and Russia have this attitude towards their people, and that's why this is happening. We have different info on how many more, maybe 20, 25,000. Whether they've arrived yet, no. Yesterday, our armed forces conducted a very strong operation, striking their position in the Kurdish direction. They hit their central command post, taking out key Russian and North Korean officers. It was a legitimate military target. We launched a missile strike and used various weapons in a comprehensive attack. We're talking about dozens of officers were lost yesterday.
So you can see, guys, there, he makes it very clear. Ukraine strikes military targets. Ukraine strikes military targets. Why do we need to be reminded of that? Because Russia will like to say that Ukraine does not strike military targets. But guys, the proof is in the pudding. Go back 2 nights ago, and you're right there in Odessa with us as Russia is striking cultural centers, and Russia is striking hotels. And in Sumy, Russia is striking apartment buildings. And in Poltava, Russia is striking apartment buildings and killing people, civilians, sleeping in their beds, children, old people, adults, just trying to live their life and support their country. That is why Zelenskyy continually stressing Ukraine strikes military targets. The proof's in the pudding. Look at the oil refineries. Look at the ports. Look at the infrastructure for fuel and oil, aviation fuel, military bases, supply warehouses for drones and munitions. That is what Ukraine hits, waging a just and a fair war as warriors, not as terrorists and evil people who strike at civilians who are sleeping in their beds. Additionally, you also were able to hear Zelenskyy directly talk about the North Korean influence into Ukraine, the North Korean packages that have came and were fighting against Ukraine in the Kursk region. What will come of that? We shall see. But you heard Zelenskyy say there could be another 20 or 25,000 coming. We shall see. Time will tell. Now, the second video clip coming out tonight that Zelenskyy shares is probably even more important, because right now the world is trying to digest what President Trump is doing, whether it is in regard to tariffs against Canada, tariffs against Mexico, the ongoing rhetoric about what he's going to do in the world, whether it's Greenland or Panama, relationships with China, what's going to happen with Ukraine, the United States border, you name it, the whole entire list of the things that Donald Trump is working through. But there's one thing Zelenskyy is getting ahead of the curve on, and kudos to you tonight, President Zelenskyy, because he comes out and he says, listen, the Americans are going to be exact. They're going to be exact. They're going to be counting the dollars. And he says directly, I'm telling you, no matter what Congress approved, no matter what it says out in the public, whether it's 177 billion or 200 billion, this is what Ukraine has received. And it has not received cash. As Putin said, Zelenskyy stuffing his mouth full of Western cash. It's not true. Zelenskyy coming out directly saying, I'm going to tell you the truth tonight. We have received 77 or whatever the amount of billion dollars worth of weapons, not cash. Where did the other money go? I don't know. But Zelenskyy, smart move here, getting ahead of the curve, getting ahead of the rhetoric, and stating the Ukrainian position. You're going to be hearing more about this as the world of Donald Trump continues to unfold, and we shall see what comes from it. So here you go. You're here to listen to Zelenskyy. Here he is.
I've heard before, and we're hearing again from the US today, that America gave Ukraine billions, 177 billion to be exact. That's the figure Congress approved. But as president of a country at war, I can tell you we've received over 75, maybe 100 billion of that, 177 or 200, as some claim. We never got that much. This is crucial because we're talking specifics. We received weapons, not cash. We got about 70 billion worth of weapons.
There you have it, guys, directly from Zelensky's mouth. And what do? You trust it. If we're standing with Ukraine and we stand with the president, in fact, I was speaking to a man last night. He says, you know, I'm not a Zelenskyy fan. I'm not, but I salute him as my commander-in-chief and as our president during our war. He's doing a good job, and I'm standing with him and I support him. And I know that we around the world, if you're here, you are supporting that as well. And I'm thankful and grateful that President Zelenskyy tonight would come out and tell truth. We strike military targets. Yes, there are potentially more North Koreans coming against us. And yes, here is the amount of money that has come. You want to be exact? Here is exact. And we received weapons, not cash. Kudos to you, President Zelenskyy. Guys, thank you for being here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button, recommend this video, whatever you can do to help us get the message out. And by the time you see this, we'll be gone. Be blessed from Dnipro tonight. Bye-bye.